Hi, my name is Rachel and welcome to another video. As you can see by the title, this is another episode of Never Say Never, reading a book I said I would never read. So in the first episode, I read a book that I said I would never read, and that was The Zodiac Academy. But it was a book that I knew that I would not like, and that's why I said I would never read it. However, in this episode, I'm going to be reading a book that I said I would never read, but not because I don't think I'm not going to like it. It's just a book where I felt like I missed the time frame for the hype, and I felt like maybe it was past its time, and I was just like, oh, I'll probably never read that. And that book is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I do have this on hold for my library. As a matter of fact, it's ready for pickup right now. But my husband has the car because he had to run into work today and our library didn't open till 10. So I'll have to grab it either later today or tomorrow. And I have a video clip that I need to watch before I can read this book. So if you're new to my channel, one of my good friends is Jade Juniper, who's also a booktuber and a writer and an author. And I have extremely similar tastes to Jade. We both are obsessed with Strange the Dreamer. We both are obsessed with The Rage of Dragons, and we both love dragons in general. We read a lot of similar titles, and I feel like 90% of the time our tastes align. So I've asked Jade if she would send me a video as to why she thinks I would like The Raven Boys based on just whatever, because she's read it. I believe she's read it more than once, and it is one of her favorite series. To the point where if I don't like this book, you will never see this video because I don't want Jade to know I didn't like it. So I have the video here and I haven't watched it yet. So we're gonna watch it for the first time together. I will put it where you can see it, or I'll just put it over top me so you can watch it at the same time. All right, here we go.
I want you to know I'm filming this for the 4th time because I kept threatening you, and I just meant it as a joke, but I think it came off too real. But I seriously just want you to have fun, so enjoy this recommendation video. Hello, Rachel. I am here to give you my strong recommendation and eager urgency to pick up The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I understand that this is an incredibly hyped book. I think that really tarnishes the quietness of this story. This book was meant to be a subtle and beautiful story and people making connections while there's a mystical force out there that just gives this an otherworldly feel. The reason specifically why I think you should read it is because, first off, we have very similar taste. I think that I just picked this up earlier and you got scared by the hype, and I would understand that entirely. There's a reason why this one's hyped, and it's because everyone can just appreciate a character and find themselves relating to one of them. This is a slow-paced book overall, but it's not about the plot, it is about the characters, and you of all people can really appreciate a good character. It has found family, queer representation, cunning prose, and atmosphere. I think at first you'll be a little put off by the beginning of this book because I didn't like the beginning of this book the first time I read it. I found it to be incredibly YA, and that did not appeal to me, but I kept reading because I enjoyed the writing style and just wanted to see where it would go. I really felt the click around chapter 7. So stick it out, chill out, try not to think about it too much. I hope that you enjoy it. I don't think it's going to be your favorite in the series though. I think that, like me, you're going to really dig The Dream Thieves, which is the second book in the series. This is really when I dug my claws in and I knew I was never letting go of these characters, and it solidified my absolute favorite character and one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. So give it a try. I promise I'll be your friend after if you don't like it. But it would definitely give us something to talk about if you do. No pressure. I feel like I'm sweaty. Why am I nervous? I've already read these books. Have a fantastic reading vlog.
Thank you so much, Jade. Okay, first thing, thank you so much, Jade, for taking time out of your day to put together this clip for me. You are such a sweetheart. I really appreciate it. Also, secondly, we both kind of have on like orange. I did not plan that at all. I did not watch this clip until right now. And the thumbnail, like it was like just your head. So I had no idea that we accidentally both had orange on. But so like I said earlier, Jade pointed out how we have similar tastes, and after watching this clip, I feel like a little bit more confident going in because, you know, you told me like the beginning is slow and to just stick it out because it does get better and the characters are really the driving force. So that's good to know going in because I'm not gonna lie, as many people that love this book, like I don't think I've ever heard the synopsis of the Raven Boys. And at this point, I'm like too scared to read the back of the book. So I'm just gonna go in with the very minimal information that I already have, which is the main character has a curse where she can't kiss someone or they'll die. Something about magical ley lines in the ground. Boys. There are boys. That's literally all I know. But like I said, I actually think this could be one that I'm going to love, even though I said like, oh, I'll never read it. But here we are, you know, never say never. Exactly the title of this series. So I will probably get some cutesy B-roll of me going to the library to pick it up. And then I will update again. Let's follow Jade's advice, and I will update you again after I've read the first 7 chapters to give you some initial thoughts and feelings on the book. See you soon. Okay, I just want to give a little update. It's Saturday the 12th. I literally have no idea when the last time I spoke out loud to you was. I think there's some B-roll in here somewhere. But I just wanted to say I'm about 15% into the Raven Boys and I'm liking it. I do think like it's definitely giving me YA vibes, but I was warned in my video from Jade that it is definitely going to feel a little bit YA in the beginning because it is, and you know, just go with the flow. So I'm doing that. But, you know, YA-ness like aside, I am liking the plot so far. It's definitely like just starting to get into kind of like the meat of things. So we're kind of following like 2 separate situations at the moment. We're following Blue and her like family and her mother and like her home life and learning about them. And then we're also following Gansey, and I think we had a POV from Adam and then Ronan. And is there 3 of them or is there 4 of them? I actually don't know. I think there's 3. And then, so we're following the boys who go to Aglianby, which is how I think Jade said to say it. I literally messaged Jade earlier today. I didn't tell Jade any spoilers, but I was like, hey, I need help pronouncing this name. How do you pronounce Aglianby? Aglionby? But Jade said to pronounce it Aglianby. So I'm just gonna go with that. And so Aglianby is like the name of their school that they go to, their little prep school. Yeah, so far I am liking it. I don't really have anything specific to say yet because nothing has really happened yet. Like I said, the plot is kind of like just kicking off. The last thing I read was this POV from a teacher named like Barrington Welk or something like that. And he had a friend who died when he was little, and him and his friend were kind of chasing this legend of like a Welsh king somewhere, like buried in a tomb or something near the school, which the boys, Gansey, Ronan, and Adam, is there one I'm forgetting? I actually don't know yet. I'm having trouble keeping track of who's actually in the friend group and who's just in the periphery. But the boys are also kind of looking for this like folklore legend king thing, and there's definitely a cool supernatural vibe to it so far. Like Gansey was trying to like look for ghosts or something, and he captured like an EVP on the radio of his own voice talking to Blue, and then Blue from her side went with her cousin to kind of like help spirits pass or something. Like spirits, I guess it's like spirits who are going to die in the next year or so, like they can see them ahead of time, I guess, and kind of help them find their way or something like that, which was really cool because, you know, normally you see spirits and it's like people have already died, but I thought it was definitely a little unique twist to have them go and they have this day where they see spirits that like haven't come to pass yet, so to speak, and then that way they kind of like can write their names down and either help guide them like in the afterlife or something like that. And I don't know, I thought that was pretty cool. I like Blue so far as a character. I think that she like, you know, kind of feels like maybe her power isn't as important as the other powers in her family because she's kind of just this amplifier. Like everyone else in her family kind of like has their own like specific, you know, psychic magic or psychic powers that they can use in different ways, and then Blue is just kind of like, oh well, I just make everybody else's powers better, like my power doesn't really do anything on its own. But I kind of have a feeling that like maybe we'll find out her power does do something else. And there are 4 books overall, so like I'm sure we won't find out in book 1 obviously, but that's kind of my theory, is that her power will actually have like another use or like another, you know, like they will have more to it than what meets the eye. I have had a gnarly cold for like the last like 6 or 7 days, and so my reading hasn't been as much as I would want it to be because I've kind of just been like vegging and watching TV. I've been watching Love is Blind, and I watched a season of anime called Solo Leveling, which actually I've heard people on YouTube talk about the manga recently, and then I watched most of it by myself, but my husband did watch a few episodes with me because he's already seen it. And I've also been working on reading another book for another vlog, but I do want to keep picking up the Raven Boys. Like I've definitely not had as much reading energy as I would like lately because I've been sick, but even then, like I've definitely been thinking about it a few times because I'll read like 1 or 2 chapters and then I'm like, I'll think about it a little bit. I'm like, that was cool, like want to keep reading. Like I definitely want to keep picking it up, and it's not the book that I'm like struggling with. Sorry, I have an itch. Yeah, it's definitely not the book's fault that I'm not picking it up a lot. It's just I've been so sick and tired, and I've just been a mess, and I need to get my social media doom scrolling addiction under control because it's been bad lately. It's kind of like the more overwhelmed my brain gets, the more I just want to stare at my phone and do nothing instead of doing things that calm me down, like reading or playing a game. So I need to really tap into the focus next week and get shit done. But yeah, all of this to say essentially that I am really enjoying the Raven Boys so far. I'm only 15% in, and I'm hopeful that I'm going to like it. I'm like liking the setup so far. I'm super intrigued about this like mysterious like Welsh king that the boys are looking for, and I would love to know more about this ley line situation. And I really like Blue from what I've seen so far. I haven't really gotten like a lot of chapters from her yet, but I think she's just kind of like down on herself because like deep down she doesn't feel like her power is useful, and so she's kind of just like going through the motions, and like, you know, she's part of her family, but I think she like doesn't feel like she's part of her family. So I feel like there's gonna be some good layers in here. I'm babbling because I'm sick, and sometimes I can't get my thoughts to kind of like focus what I'm trying to say when I don't feel good. I feel like I have to go the roundabout way to get to the point sometimes, so sorry about that, but I will update more as I, you know, find things to talk about or whatnot. I just realized that I never said out loud that this vlog will be spoilery, but editing Rachel will have probably put it on the screen earlier in the video, so that way you guys hopefully know by this point that it's going to be spoilery. But I will definitely update my thoughts more as I read. Bye for now. Okay, so I'm on like chapter 12 of the Raven Boys, maybe chapter 13. I don't know. I was listening to it while I was eating a snack. But I don't know if I said this earlier. This will be spoilery. So if you haven't read this book yet, skedaddle. But I'm at the part where Blue had found Gansey's journal earlier at the restaurant, but she doesn't realize it's his journal, obviously. And she went home, and then this is the next day, which is the day of Ganzi's reading, because she knows his name from the incident in like the first or second chapter with the ghost. So they just had a mysterious man like walk in and ask for a reading, and he wanted to be anonymous. It's obviously Welk, who is the teacher at school, who also used to search for the Raven King when he was younger and got his friend killed. And they flipped over one card for him, gave him some information, and then flipped over another card for him. And then Ganzi's mom like freaked out and was like, get the fuck out of here. And I wonder if the cards like kind of intoned to Ganzi's mother. I don't like know exactly how their like psychic abilities work, but they were reading tarot cards, so I'm assuming she like saw something once she flipped this other card. And I wonder if she saw that he was like searching for the Raven King or entwined some way in the Raven King. And previously to this chapter, the chapter before or the chapter like before that, Blue was kind of like thinking about how her dad never really gets mentioned, like her mom never talks about him, never brings him up. And then when Blue does ask about him, her mom is always like, oh yeah, like your dad's Santa Claus, your dad's like a ninja, like whatever, just like tells her random shit that's like obviously not true, but she never says anything bad about him, but she just like makes up shit about him. And I don't know why, and this is probably wrong, so if you've read this, like feel free to laugh at me. But why do I feel like Blue's dad like is the Raven King? That would be so dumb, right? Like that would be so stupid. My other thought was like maybe Blue's dad is like a horrible person and that's why her mom just doesn't like bring him up, but I don't know. I'm definitely intrigued. Like I'm absolutely enjoying this for sure. The beginning is like very much like a YA setup, but I feel like at the point where I'm at now, I'm like about 30-ish%, like maybe 28. Yeah, I feel like the part that I'm at now, like things are kind of having like a little bit more like nuance. There's definitely like a little bit more of that kind of like mysterious undertone. There was some stuff with I always get these boys confused. Okay, so Ganzi was looking for Ronan, I think, and he found him like drunk in a church, and he had a baby raven, and then you know Ronan's like drunk, so he's like, haha, the Raven King, it's funny that I found a raven. Henrietta's known for ravens. And so like there's obviously got to be something with this baby raven. There's got to be something going on with like the raven like symbology. I don't know, I'm definitely intrigued. I like Blue so far. She's like a little spunky, we love her. She's definitely like I don't want to say victim, but like a victim of her circumstances, you know, like I feel like she wants to travel the world and like see things and stuff, because she was like, oh, if I ever found the Raven King, like what would I ask for him? And she was like, maybe I'd ask about my dad, or maybe I'd ask about traveling or like getting to see the world, or like not having to worry about money. So like I feel like she wants more for herself than what she was like given for her lot in life. And because of like her family and their powers and Blue's power, like I get this feeling that like maybe she feels trapped. And so I think what's gonna happen is Ganzi's gonna show up to his reading and she's gonna be like, oh my god, you're that fucker from the fucking restaurant who offered me money to hang out with you because apparently you think I'm a prostitute. And then I think he's her like true love or whatever, because I think her mother told her, if you kiss your true love, he'll die. And then at the beginning when she was like doing the ghost thing with Mara was like, oh, like if you can see that guy, like maybe you killed him. That's kind of where I'm going with that. Like I think he maybe is her true love, even though like she was talking to Adam and she gave Adam her phone number because she thinks he's cute and quirky for a rich boy. But I think like maybe she's gonna like Adam at first, and like maybe they'll try to like, you know, chit chat and like have crushes on each other. But I feel like maybe that's gonna go awry because Ganzi's technically her true love, but she can't kiss anyone or they'll die. So what the fuck? I'm definitely intrigued. I'm enjoying it. This is going great, honestly. Like, am I obsessed? Do I think it's gonna be a new favorite of all time? I don't know. It honestly depends on the ending, because like it's just fun. It's just fun to like I was reading a lot physically, but then I switched to the audio today to get to do some things earlier, and then I came down here to have a snack. But it's been fun reading it. Like I'm just having a good time. It's also really fast to get through, which is a plus. But I'm liking it a lot, and I'm glad to say that I'm liking it a lot so far, because obviously this was recommended to me by my friend Jade, and I love her. Obviously don't want our friendship to be completely ruined if I don't like this. But it's also funny because I know that Kayla from Books and Lala loves this series as well. She just did a read along with her members, I think, recently for it. And I love Kayla as a person, but like she reads a lot of horror and thrillers, so like things that I don't pick up often. However, when I do pick up things that she recommends, I find that I actually like really like them. So I should have known to trust Jade that this was a good book because Kayla also likes it. And my best friend Maggie also said I should like this book. She said that I think I asked her like, hey, do you think I would like this book? Because I was planning on doing this video and I wanted to do a more positive one because the last time I did this, I knew I was gonna hate Zodiac Academy. And Maggie was like, I think so. And then I believe she like listened to it on audio again and was like, hey, I reread it and you'll definitely like it. So I've got 3 people to trust here. Maggie, my bestie. Jade, super good friend, love her to death, who threatened me to like this book or else. And Kayla, whose reviews I like trust and admire because she's always very honest. So fingers crossed. My prediction for like my rating is like, I feel like I'm gonna give it like a low 4 stars unless the ending like blows me away. I could picture myself giving it like a 4.5. I don't know if I'll give it a 5. Like the ending would have to be insane for me to give it a 5 because even though I'm like super loving it, super enjoying it, it definitely had like a little bit of like eye roll moments at the beginning just because, you know, it's YA. There was like a touch of I'm not like other girls for like a second, but then it went away. So it's fine. Like it's fine. I'm not mad at it, but I'm enjoying it, having a good time, and I'm really surprised and I'm excited to finish. It's also like October 22nd and I was really hoping to be done with this like a week ago, but things have gone awry in my life. My schedule's been hectic and crazy, so we're behind schedule for this book and for all of my other TBR for the month. I need to read my ass off in like the next 3 days because I'm going to the cabin this weekend to read short scary books alone in a cabin, hopefully at night. But that's neither here or there. My cats are waiting to be fed patiently behind me, and I really appreciate that. They haven't meowed one time yet, so I'm gonna go feed them. I'm gonna keep reading. It's late. I'm gonna go to bed and I'll update you in a couple days maybe, or next time I listen to something that I'm like, oh my god, I gotta tell you. Okay, bye. All right, I'm about to brush my teeth and go to bed. I am like almost 40% into this book now. I gotta say so far that I think Kala is like my favorite member of Blue's family because she's just like a bitch and it's so funny. The boys just got their tarot reading from Blue's mom and as predicted, some shit happened. I don't really know like what happened, but Yanzi pulled like the death card or whatever, and then Blue's mom was like, stay the fuck away from my daughter. And then told Blue like, I never tell you anything, but you better listen to me this time and stay the fuck away from that boy. So I'm just like, it's midnight, like I need to go to bed, but I also want to know like why, what's gonna happen, because I know Blue is supposedly gonna kill Ganzi if she kisses him or whatever, but like why does she need to stay away? Like the way that her mom made it seem was like she was in danger, and they said something about Ronan being like more raven than boy, which is crazy because I thought he was just like drunk and being a weirdo, but he told Ganzi that he got the raven from his head. So like what if he literally thought of the raven and it like appeared in his head? Is Ronan like magical? This is getting interesting. I'm excited. I'm gonna brush my teeth and go to bed. I can't be up late. I got shit to do tomorrow. Bye. Okay, so I'm about 60% into the Raven Boys, I think like maybe 58, somewhere around there. And I'm at the part where they had all been in the helicopter together and they were going to look for, like going up in the air to look for some kind of picture on the ground that was made by either like natural formations or some kind of like lines or something in the earth. So Blue is like telling them, oh, like this area over here is like a powerful like ley line area, blah, blah, blah. They go over, they see some shit, so Ganzi forces his sister to like bring the plane down, the helicopter, and they get down and Helen's like, okay, be fucking quick so I don't get in trouble. They kind of like walk around. They find some weird timey-wimey area situation and none of their clocks are working. And then they all get to a spot where like they all kind of have this vision, and I think everyone's visions are different. Blue has a vision of Ganzi and her having like this intimate moment, and she's like, I can tell in the vision that the Ganzi and the Blue and the vision like are in love with each other, even though her like current day memories also like know that she like hates Ganzi at the moment, and you know she's kind of got this crush on Adam, so she's like having this vision and she's like conflicted and she's like, what the fuck is going on? And then she sees the vision Ganzi like brush tears off her cheek and put his forehead like on her forehead or something like that, and then he's like, I'm ready, kiss me. And then the vision like ends, and so she's like, what the fuck? And then she like comes to, and then Adam is standing next to her because they were holding hands before this like vision thing thing happened. And he's like, I just want you to know, like, I'd never do that. I don't know what that was. I don't know. I would never do that. And so she's like, okay, obviously we saw different things. And then the other boys all kind of look confused, and they all look at Gansey. And Gansey's kind of like on the ground in the middle of them, I guess. And he's like, looks like he's praying. And they're like, oh my God, what did you see? And Blue is like, oh shit, did he say the same thing I saw? Because that's awkward. But Gansey says, I saw Glendower. So my theory is that all her life, her mom has told her, like, whoever you kiss, like, if you kiss your true love, like, he's gonna die. And then obviously she sees her and Gansey, what I'm assuming is the future of them, like, in love and about to kiss. So that means he's gonna die. However, if you take into consideration that Adam was like, I would never do that, I wonder if maybe one of them needs to die to, like, resurrect Glendower or something like that. Because also there's Welk's POV, and we get tiny flashbacks of him and his friend, I think it's pronounced Zerny. And Zerny died when they tried to do the ritual to resurrect Glendower, but they weren't successful apparently. And I wonder if maybe Blue's mom kind of saw, like, glimpses of this situation, but she obviously, like, couldn't connect the dots at the time, a long time ago, when she was like, hey Blue, like, if you kiss your true love, like, he's gonna die. But I wonder if, like, maybe her kiss isn't actually lethal, and maybe she kisses him and then he dies because Adam has to murder him to, like, resurrect Glendower or whatever. I don't know. That's my, like, working theory. However, I also have a feeling that I'm not going to find out if I'm right about any of that until, like, later in the series, because again, I'm almost 60% through. Blue and Adam, like, barely kind of know each other at this point, and in the vision that she had, her and Gansey were, like, clearly in love. So I feel like that's not gonna happen for a while, and I'm going to have to wait to find out if I'm right. So if you've read it, don't spoil me in case I finish this series. I don't know at this point with 100% certainty that I will continue the series. However, I'm not hating it. I, in fact, like it quite a bit. I think it's fun. I don't think I'm going to give this first book a 5 stars. I do think I could potentially give it a 4 stars, like a lower 4. And then if the ending isn't as satisfying as I hope it will be, because I know that the story isn't going to conclude, because obviously there's 3 more books. So I just kind of hope the ending, even though it's not going to give me answers, I just hope it will be satisfying. But if it's not, like, I probably would still give the book like a 3.5. And I definitely think I want to keep reading. It's definitely like a really fast-paced, easy time to read it. So it'll be a good series, I feel like, to kind of pick up occasionally when I am, like, slumping and just need something fast and fun. That doesn't really require a lot of brain power, but it is also fun to kind of theorize about the stuff that's going on. But I feel like because it is set in, like, the real world in Virginia, which is where I live, which also makes it more fun to read, because they, like, talk about, like, oh, the Virginia humidity, and I'm like, yeah, I fucking agree, like, absolutely. So liking it. I have theories. I don't know if they're right. Hopefully the ending will be satisfying so I can give it a 4 stars, but I feel like right now it's like a solid, like, 3.5. I feel like I will give it a 4 stars as long as the ending is good. It's not gonna get a 5 though, because it's definitely not perfect. But again, my friend Jade, who gave me the video to play at the beginning for her recommendation why I would like this, she also said that she doesn't think the first one's going to be my favorite either, and that I would probably like Blue Lily Lily Blue the best, which I think is the second one. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reading and I'll update you when I know more. Okay, I was like literally in bed, tucked in, like with my lamp off, going to fall asleep. I have the candle on because my husband will be home within like the next 15 minutes. So if I fell asleep, it's fine. But yeah, I was listening to the Raven Boys and playing my little matchy match game, Project Makeover. If you haven't played it, I'm on like level like 4,000 or something. Actually, no, that's not right. Maybe it's like 1,800. I don't know. But I was in bed, getting ready to go to sleep, and I was listening to the Raven Boys playing my little matching game, and I'm at the part where Blue and Gansey are hanging out by themselves, and they are walking along the ley line or something like that, and Gansey told Blue about how, like, oh my god, like, I should have died as a kid, and I heard this voice in my head say that I will live because someone's dying right now who's not supposed to, so you can, like, stay alive, like, instead of them. And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy, what the fuck? And then I was thinking, like, okay, maybe it was that teacher, Welk, when he was a kid, his friend, I think his name was Cerny, like Czerny or whatever, Cerny, I don't know how to say that, but yeah, so I was like, oh my gosh, like, maybe it was him. That's crazy. And now him and Blue are walking, and Blue stepped on a fucking arm bone, and it's like a straight up skelly, like like no meat, just bones, and it had like some tattered remains of like an Aglenby patch and like a tie, and there was a wallet like under the bones, and so Gansey pulled the wallet out of the bones, and it's fucking Noah's wallet. What is going on? Is there time travel, or like is there some kind of weird thing going on with like the timelines? I'm so confused. I know that when they had their like little visions, that time was being played with kind of then, because Blue was seeing the future and she could feel the emotions that she was feeling in the future, but she was also still conscious of herself in the present and her emotions in the present. So like she knew that she felt like in love with Gansey or whatever, but she also knew that in the present day, like she didn't like Gansey. And now they're like chatting a little bit more, which I don't know, like I was never like rooting for Blue and Adam, because at the beginning we have Blue with Neve, and Neve is like, oh, like you can see that boy because you either killed him or like you're in love with him or something like that. I forget what it was. I think it was you killed him or you're in love with him or something like that. So like we kind of know like Gansey's really like the one that is meant for her, I guess, or like, you know, her love interest. So I was never rooting for Adam, but like I don't know, I like Adam as a character. I feel for him, I feel for Adam, but he also kind of like just like he should just let his friends help, you know what I'm saying? But he won't. He's too proud. But yeah, so like I don't know, I was never like team Blue and Adam, but I'm just like shocked because they just found Noah's fucking wallet on a dead skeleton in the middle of nowhere, and now I'm wondering if there's like weird time shit going on. We know that Gansey should have died when he was little and he cheated death, and then Blue's mom pulled the death card at Gansey's like tarot reading. So I don't know if like maybe because of him cheating death, like there's something weird with timelines, or if the timelines are just like reliant on the ley lines, and maybe because they're like spending a lot of time on the ley lines, like their like personal like timelines are like changing, or like maybe the timelines are like looping on back of each other. I don't know what's happening at all, but I'm so curious to find out what the fuck is going on. Tomorrow I'm leaving and going to a cabin for the weekend. I have like 5 hours left of this audiobook. I would love to finish it tomorrow because I just need to know what happens. Damn it, I just need to know what happens. Oh, delicious. That is my first hot foamy latte in months, because my latte maker died when my husband was deployed, and I had had it since last Christmas, so I didn't think they'd replace it. But my husband called when he got home, like the manufacturer, and they were like, oh yeah, we'll just send you a new one. And I was like, thank you so much. Oh my god, delicious. Anyways, I'm here to tell you about the Raven Boys. I was listening a little bit after my clip last night. I was like, okay, like let me squeeze in 2 more chapters before I go to bed, because I was waiting for Kyle to get home from work because he had to work late. So I'm listening, and then Noah is a fucking ghost. His last name is Cerny or Churney or however the fuck you say it. He was Welk's friend when they were kids. Oh my god. What? I'm sorry. You said what now? But also how? That's crazy. So earlier when I was saying like, okay, maybe there's some weird shit going on with time, I don't know if that was right, but clearly Noah is Churney, which it was Welk's friend who died when they were kids. And he's been a ghost this whole time. My flabbers were gasted when I heard that last night. I would have updated you right when it happened because I was freaking the fuck out. But my husband walked in the door from work like right as I heard that, and I was like, I'm sorry, what just happened? Crazy. And then so Gansey like runs back to their apartment with the wallet that he found on the skeleton, and he's like, where the fuck is Noah? Blah blah blah. Did you guys know, like, what's his last name? And they're like, oh, we don't know. And then he's like, when did we become friends with him? And they're all like, we don't know. And then he shows them like his last name's fucking Churney or Zerny, however you say it. And yeah, wow. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see it coming at all. So like all 4 of the boys have been kind of weird up to this point. Like they're all a little bit eccentric. Like Gansey's obsessed with this like legend shit. Adam is like poor and he's dealing with his, I guess, guilt or whatever for going to this school. Plus his home life is like not the best. And Ronan has his shit with his brother and his dead dad. And Noah's just been like odd. Like a little odd. And I didn't think anything of it because I'm like, oh, it's just this group of misfit boys who kind of like have a found family going on. So I never picked up on any of the clues that he was dead this whole time. I'm honestly shocked. Didn't see that coming. The last thing I listened to was Gansey asking them, like, when did we all be friends, and telling them, like, showing them the license and stuff and telling them what happened. And then Noah kind of does some, like, spooky ghost shit because he's like, oh, I've been called out, like, let me teleport a little bit. And then I went to bed after that. I didn't want to. Don't get me wrong, but my husband said he was really tired from work and I didn't want to be like freaking out in bed next to him. So I was like, okay, I'll go to bed. It was like 11:30 at this point, so like I should have been going to bed anyways, you know. I'm going this afternoon to the cabin. So I'll be there tonight, all day Saturday, and then Sunday morning, and then Kyle and Riley will pick me up Sunday morning, and I'll come back home. So I'll have all day tomorrow to read. I'm gonna try to read tonight and tomorrow, like all day, like short horror thriller books. But yeah, I'm not gonna be home this weekend, so I'm leaving tonight, and I think we're gonna leave at like 3, maybe 3:15, and I really want to finish this. I think I have 3 hours and like 20 minutes left of the audiobook, and my goal right now is I just made my latte. I'm gonna sit here, listen to the audiobook, and play my little project makeover matching game, just, you know, play some levels, and I'm gonna do that only for like an hour until I go take a shower. So I'm listening at like 1.8 speed, so I might bump it up a little bit and see if I can finish this audiobook before I leave. I'm really excited to see what the fuck happens from here, because I feel like that kind of just threw a wrench in the plot. Like, yeah, they're still searching for what the fuck is his name? I can't remember, the Welsh guy, Glendower. But I feel like they might take a turn and try to investigate like what happened to Noah, because they don't know that Noah died also searching for Glendower. They think someone killed him, unless Blue's family maybe can give some insight. I don't know if they'll ask her family to see if they can see anything about Noah. So yeah, I don't know. That was crazy. I'm gonna keep reading. Bye. All right, I'm about to hop in the shower, but I've been listening to The Raven Boys for like an hour. I actually had to rewind and listen to the same 3 chapters like 3 times because I kept getting distracted and not paying attention, but that's my fault and not the book's fault. So I think I was right about the fact that when Gansey should have died from the bees 7 years ago, he only stayed alive because Noah, aka Zerny, was dying. And I think I'm also right about the fact that Welk murdered him for the ritual. And I think I'm also right about the fact that when they were all having those like visions in the weird timey-wimey spot when they first went to the forest with Blue, when the time stopped working and then they all had visions, I'm pretty sure that I'm right about the fact that Adam had a vision of him killing Gansey. So I don't know if I'm just really smart or maybe it's just really obvious. I haven't decided yet. It's not really like taking away my enjoyment in this moment, and none of those things have been like solidified, but the boys and Blue are all kind of speculating the same things that I was speculating. So if that was supposed to be like the big reveal, that's a little disappointing just because like I saw it coming. But that being said, it's YA, so like I kind of expected it to be a little bit predictable. But yeah, I think they're about to find out that Noah was murdered by Welk, who is a teacher at their school. So I don't know if they're gonna like try to get him arrested or what's going on, but Noah said like, oh, are you guys afraid of Gansey? Because he was comparing Gansey to Welk, even though he hasn't said Welk's name yet. He said like, I was just going along with him. It was always his thing. He was the one obsessed with it. So Gansey is kind of similar to Welk because he's the one who's like obsessed with it. And they were all like, no, like we're fine. And then I guess like Blue noticed that Adam like looked guilty again. And he was like, yeah, like no, because I'm pretty sure it's not Gansey they should be afraid of. It's Adam. Because I think Adam is supposed to kill one of them for the fucking ritual or some shit. I don't fucking know. I think I'm right about that. So yeah, didn't see that Noah was a ghost happening. However, I'm right about a lot of my other things so far. So I really hope the book will surprise me again more towards the end. I think I'm on like 75%. So I hope there's another surprise in there for me, because if not, I'll probably give it like a 3.5 stars, which is solid. But I want to be like shocked. I want to be surprised. You know what I'm saying? I want the razzle dazzle. I need to go shower. My hair, haven't washed in like 3 days. I'm about to go to get ready to leave later today. And then I need to go downstairs and finish cooking dinner in the crock pot for everybody else before I leave. So I'll chat with you when I've read more. Okay, well, in a shocking turn of events, I was just absolutely sobbing over The Raven Boys. I just read the part where Adam's dad punches him in the head and he falls to the ground and his friends are like about to drive away and he's like not really conscious of what's happening because he just sustained a head trauma. And then the next thing he knows, Ronan punches his dad and starts beating his dad up to defend him. And yeah, that part was really hard to listen to. I just want to scoop Adam up and give him a big hug and kidnap him and protect him from his piece of shit father and his piece of shit mother. The cops showed up because she called the cops on Ronan, assuming Adam wouldn't tattle on his dad because she's told him in the past, apparently, don't say anything, just say you tripped. So she's just as bad as the abuser because she's just letting it happen and not doing anything about it. I always say I don't really have any triggers in books, but child abuse in particular always gets to me. And now I just feel like I knew it was happening because it was implied earlier in the story about Adam's family that his dad was abusive. But to see it on page, see it happening on page is definitely a different experience. And also to see it portrayed like so accurately, like Adam's thoughts about like, oh, like I shouldn't tell because I don't want my dad to get in trouble, or how he was thinking like, I can see my mom over there like glaring at me while I'm talking to this police officer, and like I know that she's trying to like telepath me to lie because she doesn't want my dad to get in trouble either. And it's like, that's crazy. Like, you're his mother and you should be protecting him, and you're just letting your husband like beat the shit out of your child. That's insane. Couldn't be me. If my husband ever raised a hand to my child, I would not ever like allow that to happen. That's crazy. So that's where we're at now. Also, before that happened, Welk tried to murder Gansey. He murdered him, and well, he tried to murder him. He was gonna shoot him, and then he stole his journal. So I knew Welk was gonna come after them because of them calling the police about Noah's body. And now Welk tells Gansey like, they're asking questions because of you, blah, blah, blah. And he's like gonna shoot him. And Gansey gets the gun away from him and drives away. And then surprisingly, the boys show up at Blue's house. And meanwhile, Blue, Persephone, and I think Kala, I get a little confused on these names. I think it's Blue, Persephone, and Kala are like spying in Neve's room because they think she's up to something. And it turns out that she has a deal with Welk to help him find Glendower or something like that. But obviously, like, I don't think Neve knew that he was like a murderer and a piece of shit, because he definitely killed Noah when they were kids. So then Neve comes home, catches them in her room, and then right after that the boys show up, and so they go downstairs and then they're all talking. And I'm actually really impressed with this part where all the boys and Blue, like, they tell Blue's mom and family, like they tell them everything essentially about Noah and about Welk, and that they're like kind of in danger now, blah blah blah. So I was really impressed with that part, because I feel like a lot of times in fantasy books, like, the parents are just absent and they have no idea what's going on. And like, yeah, teenagers have a certain level of independency, which is normal, but it's nice to see that like they realized they were kind of in over their heads, and now they're like involving an adult that they feel like they can trust. Which, out of all of the boys and Blue's parents, Blue's mom is definitely like the least fucked up out of all of them. I mean, granted, she was lying about like her dad, I guess, but I think she was just doing it to protect her because she didn't want her to be hurt. And like, you know, that's understandable. But the other kids' parents, oh my god, they're so fucked up. They all need therapy. Adam's dad needs to be in jail, and Ronan's dad is dead. So Mara was the only option, but I'm glad that they involved an adult and I guess got advice on how to continue. That happened, and then we had the scene after where Adam was getting beat up by his dad, and Gansey paid for Adam's hospital bill because he doesn't have insurance because his parents can't afford it. Not that they would care about his well-being anyways, it seems like. But yeah, so now I think Adam's gonna move in with the boys at like the manor or whatever. Honestly, I hope he does, because his parents fucking suck so bad. Like, that part literally made me want to throw up. I was like, these parents are disgusting. Anyways, I think I have about an hour and a half left of the audiobook. I am not at home, as you can see. I'm in a cabin. But I think I'm going to finish this audiobook today, but I do want to do a lot of physical reading too, because that's why I'm here. But I'm sure I will do a lot of audiobook listening when I have things to do that I can't like be sitting with my eyes on the page, if I tidy up or get dressed, whatever. So I'm definitely going to try to finish this today. Also, I feel like at this point, my rating for this book would be maybe like a 4-star. It is a little predictable, but there are still things that surprise me. Like I didn't see Welk like attacking the kids at all, I don't think. Like I knew that he was going to be like, did I know that? I feel like maybe I did say that actually. I don't know. I kind of knew that Welk was going to be like, oh, well, fuck these kids because I'm in trouble now. But at the same time, I didn't really think he was going to try to kill Gansey like out in the open like that in broad daylight. And I'm impressed with the fact that the children like went to Blue's family and they were like, hey, this is what's going on, we need help now, which I feel like that doesn't happen a lot in YA books. Again, like I said, the parents are always absent, so that was a point in the book's favor in my opinion. I was like, ooh, okay, a nice change from a lot of the YA that's out there where the parents just are at the beginning and then you never see them again for like 3 books. I have a feeling like maybe the ending will like be crazy. I feel like with this book, where I'm at right now, I have some predictions, but I don't think they're accurate, so I'm just not going to say them because I just think they're wrong. But I don't know. I'm really intrigued to see what's going to happen. I was right in the fact that earlier on in this vlog, I said that when Blue had her vision of her and Gansey, like when they were in love and she was like, ugh, I don't even like him right now, that we weren't going to see that in this book because I'm like 80% in and her and Adam are still kind of a thing, which like I think they're cute, but I'm like, I can't get behind them because I know, like we know from Blue's vision that she's gonna fall in love with Gansey at some point. So I can't like get behind Blue and Adam, but like I like them as individuals. I just don't like root for them together. And I love Adam. I feel so bad for him. Like no kid should have to go through that. And he just deserves so much more than what he's given. And Ronan's kind of annoying. Yes, his dad is dead and he's got fucking family issues with his brothers, but I don't know. He needs therapy. Like, he has anger issues and he needs to go to therapy. And who's the other one? Gansey, Ronan, Adam. Oh, Noah. Well, Noah's dead, so that's where I'm at right now. So we'll either update again once I'm finished or I'll update if something insane happens and I have to tell you. Okay, it is Saturday night, still at the cabin. I just finished The Raven Boys. That ending was wild. I really thought Welk was gonna kill Neve there for a minute. I'm so glad they showed up in time to stop that. And then Adam sacrificing himself for his friends. Oh, I love Adam, but he's just a sweet little bean, you know what I'm saying? And then Blue, when she told Noah's mom that he said to tell you he's sorry for drinking your peppermint schnapps, your birthday schnapps. And his mom cried and it was just so sweet. So many things happened and I feel like, well, I'm just tired. I don't know why. I woke up early today because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna read all day. And I've been reading all day. I think that's why I'm so tired. My eyes are just droopy. So I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna process my thoughts on the Raven Boys for a couple days. And then I'll do a more cohesive, coherent I'll do a more coherent outro when I'm at home in front of my books. I'll see you then. Bye. So in this vlog, I read The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater for my Never Say Never episode 2. And coming at the high recommendation from my friend Jade Juniper that I would actually like this one if I gave it a chance. And the results are in. I did, in fact, really like it. I liked it a lot. I feel like the kids all had like their own thing going for them. They all felt pretty different. And I liked Blue a lot as a main character. And I feel like I want to know more about her as a person and not really just like her family and the expectations that they have for them. So I kind of hope that we learn more about like her wants and her desires in book 2. I like the group of boys. I think that Gansey is like a snarky, pretentious asshole, but he doesn't really mean it. Just kind of how he was raised. I feel like he has a good heart. It's just kind of wrapped up in like a little bit of that pretentiousness. And I think Adam is just a really sad, special being, and I want to save him and protect him. And I also want to beat up his father. I was actually so glad when Ronan hauled ass and started beating up Adam's dad because like I wanted to do the same thing in that situation. And I don't know how I feel about Ronan in particular. Like, he's kind of a dick, but his dad died and his older brother like is also kind of a dick and their relationship is so strained. So like I understand why he is the way that he is, but like literally all of them need therapy. All of the Raven Boys need to go to therapy. Honestly, They all need help. And then that twist with Noah was crazy. I wasn't really sure in the beginning why he was there, because he was kind of like in the background. He didn't get as much page time and whatnot, but I just thought like, oh, he's just like a loner of the group, and like maybe we'll learn more about him later. But then we sure did learn something else. We learned that he was dead. I think the overall plot was really interesting. I definitely found myself intrigued in the like search for, what's his name? The Welsh guy. I'm drawing a blank. What is the dead Welsh guy's name? Come on, Rachel. You just finished this book 2 days ago. What is his name? What is his name? Anyways, I can't remember, but I found myself really interested in like the legend, and I kind of really wanted to see Gansey like doing more research, even though he knows so much about it already. Like I kind of wish maybe we got flashbacks of like him starting his research and maybe even starting his journal. I would have loved to have seen him like writing in the journal and piecing things together, or like see him where he's kind of like reads something online and then maybe like finds an obscure text in a book, and see him have this like aha moment and like make notes in his notebook about like, I think this and this mean this, and I think he's here and here and here based on this, this and this. So I feel like it would have been a little cooler to get just a touch more of that from him. But again, it is only the first book in a 4-book series, so for all I know, like there could be more flashbacks and stuff coming in the future that will give me more of what I wanted. However, that being said, I don't know, it was just like a fun time, even though like it wasn't really fun the whole time. Like Adam's dad beating him up, that scene was really, really hard for me. And fuck his dad and fuck his mother, pieces of shit. And the scene where they like discover Noah's dead skeleton certainly wasn't like fun. Like it's very like shocking and intense at times, but I feel like the overall plot and the book itself was like a wild ride. It was definitely fun. I did predict like a few things, but they were the kind of predictions where like I predicted something and I wanted it to happen, and it did, and then it didn't take away from my enjoyment, because I was like, oh, it would be cool if the story goes in this direction. And then I got what I wanted. So like, I can't be mad at that. I think Welk was kind of like a weird addition at first. Like I was so unsure why we were getting a POV from him, but obviously as the plot went on and we find out that he is the one who killed Noah, and we find out Noah is Cherney or Zerny, however the fuck you say it. And after we find that out, it all clicks into place and you're like, oh shit, okay, like he's more entwined in the plot than we realize. And I can't wait to see where the story goes. I'm not gonna jump into the next one like immediately because I hadn't planned on it, but I do think that this is a series I will continue. So this episode of Never Say Never was a success, because even though I said I'll probably never read this book because it's not something I was interested, I don't think I had ever heard anyone describe the plot in a way that made me interested. All the times I ever heard about it, the only things people really said was the main character can't kiss the boy she's in love with or she'll kill him. And I'm like, oh, that sounds so cliche. Like, I don't know, it sounded cliche the way that people described it. However, based on Jade's video, I really felt like, okay, maybe I was misled and maybe I could like this book. So I'm glad that I read it. I feel like I did kind of have a sense of FOMO because the Raven Boys is like so beloved and used to be so popular here on BookTube. But I'm happy to have read it. Thank you so much to Jade for recommending it to me and sending me the video clip for your reasoning of why you thought I would like this book or could like this book. And I really actually kind of had a blast. There were a few times reading this book where I was like, I want to message Jade right now and scream about what just happened. I even messaged Jade at one point and I was like, I want to tell you something because something happened, but I don't think I should say anything because I don't want to spoil you for the results. But I feel like based off of that, she already kind of knew that I was enjoying it. So congrats, Jade. You don't have to threaten me and end our friendship. Thank you so much to everyone who made it this far in the video. And if you did make it this far, leave the crow emoji. There's not a raven one, but close enough. Leave the crow emoji down in the comments and I will see you in the next one. Bye.